Welcome to Money Talks, a weekly feature on FM 93.5 The Berg and WMEG AM 740. Today we will talk just a little bit about money, maybe some of the things you can do with it, how it can impact your life, some ideas on financial planning and investing, and getting the most out of the money you hope to have, already have, or want to pass down. So sit back, relax, listen, and maybe take some notes, as you may have some questions by the time we're done with this edition of Money Talks. Good morning, Dan Joss. Welcome back to Money Talks. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. So we've been talking about this three-legged stool and retirement and such. Third leg, personal savings. Is that like taking money and putting it in a piggy bank and that's personal savings? Because that's what it is to a lot of people.
In some sense, yes, and in another sense, no.
Okay.
And yes, it's put in a piggy bank, which means I'm not spending it today.
Okay.
So I'm saving it for my future self.
All right.
The other two legs of the retirement income stool are Social Security and either pension or a 401k retirement account or a employer-sponsored plan. We have a little control.
Employer-sponsored plan is 401k.
Right.
Okay.
So we have little control over Social Security. We can make some decision. We can do some planning. Employer-sponsored plan, we can decide how much we want to contribute.
And that would be like a pension.
Yep. And those are now replacing pensions
the 401k.
For the most part. Right.
Okay.
So I count those as the second leg, pensions or employer-sponsored plans.
Gotcha.
And we have some control over those, but depending on our employer, we get what we get.
Right.
And we can either save more or less, or we pay what's required for the pension. It's taken out of our checks, and we get what we get.
Okay.
Personal savings is the leg of the stool that we can totally control.
Because it's really about self-discipline there.
How much I'm saving
choices
for the future, and then if I've decided I'm going to save a certain amount, where do I save that is the next question.
Okay, so you might decide to take it and put it in a little glass piggy bank.
Right.
Or you might decide to take it and put it in stocks.
I could put it in stocks. I could put it in bonds. I could put it in real estate. I could put it in a certain type of account that has tax benefits. I could put it in an IRA account, a traditional IRA account where the income is deferred until my retirement.
And an IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account?
Right.
Okay, well, that's a good acronym
That's
for
a good thing. We're limited to the amount that we can put in those accounts.
Okay.
I think it's $6,000 this year, and if we're over 50, we can save an extra $1,000.
Okay.
And then in an IRA account, we can buy stocks and bonds and other things. We can also have a Roth IRA account, which is tax-free.
It doesn't all go to Mr. Roth?
It doesn't go to Senator Roth.
Okay.
But the earnings are after tax, are tax-free, but the contributions are after tax.
All right, so the money doesn't all go to Mr. Roth.
Nope, goes to you for your future.
Okay.
And it's tax-free, and contributions are after tax, and so the earnings are tax-free when you're distributed from the Roth account.
Tax-free sounds kind of nice.
It is nice, but because it's nice, you may be not able to contribute to a Roth account. If you're a single taxpayer, if you earn more than $122,000 a year, then you're limited to how much you can contribute, and eventually you can't contribute any at all. And if you're married filing jointly, and you earn around $200,000, you're not allowed to contribute to a Roth account.
Okay.
But there are ways to plan so that you can benefit from either a traditional IRA account or a Roth account.
And there are other devices that you can put your money in other than the glass piggy bank and the stocks and the bonds and the real estate and the Roth that you could put the savings in.
Right.
Okay.
You can just open up a brokerage account.
Okay.
And and we could buy stocks and bonds and whatever type of investment we wanted to. Now, what's interesting about a brokerage account that's not a tax-deferred account is things that happen in that account have a tax consequence. And
right.
So you want to be tax efficient when you're investing in those kind of things.
Tax efficient. Can you elaborate on that just a little bit?
Sure.
It sounds like
if you were
similar to tax-free, but not quite.
Well, tax efficiency is just a term I use to where I want to invest in tax efficient investments that don't have a lot of distributions. Like if you were to invest in an actively managed mutual fund that had a lot of turnover,
Right.
you may get some year-end distributions, and those could be taxable. And so if you have the choice of a tax-efficient investment and a tax-inefficient investment, you'd want to put the tax-inefficient investments in an IRA account or a Roth account where the taxes don't matter.
Okay.
So I could have a stock that pays a qualified dividend, index-type fund that has low turnover and low distributions. Those would be great for a brokerage account.
Okay. All right. Well, we're running low on time, but I think one of the things that I really picked up on in this conversation is personal savings is really about personal choices.
Right.
Because
And the
other two legs
first
of
choice
the
is
stool-
the first choice is to defer spending
Okay.
because your future self will thank you for that.
Right.
And then the second choice is where do we put those savings?
Okay. All right. That's good. So the first leg was pensions and 401k, employer-sponsored stuff. Then the next one was Social Security. And you don't have a whole lot of say in those as the savings go on. But the personal savings, you really do have a choice in how to do it. And that's where getting someone like you to sit down and talk to and do some more steering, because the other is helpful to have you with, but the personal savings is a great thing to chat with Dan Joss about. Dan, how does somebody get in touch with you?
757-903-2127.
All right. Well, Dan Joss, we appreciate you being here very much, and we hope you have a great day, as we hope for our listeners as well.
Well, thank you.
Money Talks is a weekly program presented for the listener's benefit and entertainment. It is provided at no cost to the listener, and the ideas, opinions, and comments are not to be construed as legal advice, tax advice, investment advice, or other advice specific to the listener. Listeners are encouraged to seek the advice of a licensed professional or other qualified party when dealing with financial, legal, tax, medical, investment, insurance, taxidermy, plumbing, electrical, carpentry, real estate, chiropractic, veterinary, oral hygiene, hot air ballooning, etc. We have given you some food for thought. Now, call a licensed professional such as Dan Joss at 757-903-2127. Thanks for listening, and remember, failing to plan is planning to fail.